Hey there, my name's Cameron Reid, and this is the People's House and Garden, a new building product for black people across America. We recognized a problem in Portland, Oregon. Black wealth isn't prospering like it should. History of redlining, blight ordinances, and disinvestment led to excessive gentrification in black neighborhoods. With new construction, the black community is secondary to return on investment. Construction is disruptive and destructive. We hope to bring ownership back to the black community with the People's House. It'll provide jobs and teach skills at a small scale, allowing every part of the construction process to go through community. Our vision started as a simple kit of parts for housing and gardening, offering spaces to coexist with nature and connect with its wealth and prosperity. Modularity would give people freedom to expand their spaces over time. As it developed, it became a whole new vernacular, which raises black voices towards community-driven designs. We wanted this to be a building strategy that's malleable, inexpensive, and creative. The first project we designed is for Charlie Days. He lives in Albina and wanted to build his own house, but he couldn't find an affordable or accessible way to do it. He wanted to use the People's House kit of parts to shape his home with his own hands. He's going to share a bit of his story. I received a catalog where I got to choose the layout of my house and what parts I would need for it. I chose 2 rooms and a greenhouse to put on my grandmother's land. I placed my order, and a truck was set to arrive in 2 weeks. The People's House partners with local black builders to pour the foundation. This was the only part I couldn't do myself. I met up with the builders and we spent a day digging holes and flattening the earth. They taught me how to pour concrete, and I learned how to go about setting the floors on the posts. Once the concrete had dried, I was ready to assemble. The truck arrived with my parts, and they told me it should take about 4 weeks to put it together. I decided to organize a building workshop so friends and kids in my neighborhood could build with me. We pulled out the instructions and got to work. It turns out that the folks in the neighborhood were very eager to learn some building skills. One young girl told me she'd always dreamt of building a life-size Lego set, and her dream had finally come true. The house was easy and understandable to build, and after I got the okay from the People's House advisor, all I had to do was some landscaping to make it just right. I've now lived in the house for almost a year. My greenhouse is full of beautiful plants and vegetables, which I share with the neighbors who helped me build it. It's quite empowering to be such a large part in something as important as building your own house, so I really hope that more people's houses will pop up in black neighborhoods across the country. This is a page from the catalog that we gave Charlie. It shows you how to assemble the main parts of a housing module. A steel frame is the main building block, which the walls, roofs, and floors sit inside. The housing pieces are made of structural insulated panels and 2x8 pieces. This makes them easy for a few people to lift and assemble. During assembly, small pulleys attach to the frame to help tilt the walls into place. This page describes the construction of greenhouse and circulation modules. Greenhouses are made of polycarbonate panels, with operable windows controlled by the small pulleys. Shading rolls are installed after the walls are in place. Circulation happens in another module. A stair is built in 3 pieces, with enough room in the center for an ADA lift. The SIP walls are clad with cedar siding with a drainage plan. Wherever a greenhouse roof joins the SIP roofs, there is a gap for water to travel into a small gutter, which caught and used to water plants. The water travels over the fascia, which is covered with a waterproof coating. The foundation is pier and beam, and the SIP floors sit on 2x6 ledger boards. The steel frame rests on steel corners, which connect both to the foundation and the floor panels. As far as conditioning goes, the People's House uses a mostly passive system. The greenhouse serves to condition the air that then travels in or out of the housing modules. Ventilation schedules optimize the louvers in the roof and walls to open or close depending on the outside temperature. Low-energy ceiling fans circulate the air, and operable roll shading keeps direct sunlight out in warmer months. Within the homes, ductless heat pumps are in place to give occupants control over their temperature. We have plans in the works for a new proof-of-concept site. 4504 North Haight Avenue is a site with a history of black farming and family. It is located in Portland's Albina district, a perfect place to create People's House jobs and reinvest in the neighborhood. It is 3 structures, each serving Albina in a different way. The buildings can grow over time, demonstrating the longevity and versatility of the system. This is our biggest project yet, and we hope it can pave the way for more community-driven projects throughout chocolate cities in America. The first of 3 structures is a Zen garden. Benches, ponds, and tropical plants make a fun, oxygen-filled environment. It is a welcoming space for anyone who needs a place to relax and enjoy time surrounded by nature. Partially enclosed, it provides shelter from rain in the winter months, making it especially enjoyable year-round. The second structure is a housing complex. It's set on the private side of the site, next to an alley. Because of its size, it would have nice views west over Haight Avenue. The complex would have 3 floors of living space, as well as a private greenhouse for the residents. It could support 3 to 8 people as it stands, but it could expand with more module pieces as families grow. The third structure is a street market. Right off of Haight Avenue, it would be the face of the project. Community members or housing complex residents would manage the building, welcoming people to its storefront window. The street market would create space to generate wealth through cooking, sharing food, and selling produce to the community. The garden beds would be rentable by community members, who would also have access to the food storage and kitchen spaces inside. These projects showed us that there is affordable potential in the People's House. Charlie's house cost us $57,000 and helped to develop the Haight Avenue project, which we estimate to cost around $320,000. Our projects are partially funded by Premier SIPs of Oregon, who agreed to sponsor us by using their panels. We hope to partner with them as we develop our own panels, moving from sponsorship to business. We found additional funding for Charlie's house from the Oregon Community Foundation, the MRG Foundation, and the Nike Community Impact Fund. Due to the importance of urban farming in the projects, we also gained support from Growing Spaces and America's Healthy Food Financing Initiative. We believe this project will create jobs for Black Portlanders, and we want to help provide them salaries. We hope to hire managers and employees of the People's House Manufacturing Center for Portland, specialists for on-site assistance, managers who care for the gardens and street market, spokespeople, and media managers. The People's House will let Black wealth flourish. Thank you for your time.